What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Juicy Jet Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Rooney, and we are here 24 hours later. I've been able to cool down a little bit, but I want to talk about and recap that embarrassing, pitiful loss the New York Jets just took from the Buffalo Bills. It was a blowout, 30-10, and the score isn't even indicative of what actually happened out there. And it's frustrating, but I'm going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about the game itself. We're going to talk about the coaching staff and Aaron Glenn. We're going to talk about the offense, the defense, what went well. Hint, there's not going to be a lot. There's going to be a very short segment about what went well, what went poorly. And then I guess we'll look ahead and kind of put this game behind us and hopefully never talk about it again. But yeah, it was brutal. So let's get right into it. So yesterday, beautiful day out, great weather for football. It was a hot day in mid-September in New York, which was beautiful. No rain for one of the rare times. I guess this is maybe an omen. When it's sunny and nice out, just bad things are going to happen on the football field for us. But, you get into the stadium, there's already not a lot of people there in terms of Jets fans, which is a little surprising being a division rival, but there was tons of Bills fans, as always, very similar to the Steelers game. And you knew this game was over in the first probably 6 to 8 minutes of the game. And it's just really disappointing. And I go to all of these games because it's so fun to watch football in person. It's so fun to tailgate. It's so fun to interact with other fans. It's so fun to go visit other cities and do all these fun things. But man, it is miserable when you are actually in there for the 3 hours watching this game. And it's the same thing year after year. For 15 years, we have been seeing this team come out with absolutely no energy multiple times a season. And it's Aaron Glenn's second ever game coaching this team, and we're already flat. No energy. This is just like that Cardinals game last year, where from the moment the ball was snapped on the first drive of the game, we knew we weren't winning. And we end up getting blown out, and it's embarrassing, and there's no effort. Now look, am I saying that this is what Aaron Glenn's going to be like for the rest of his career as a Jets head coach? No, hopefully not. I feel really good about Aaron Glenn. It was just a really, really bad day for the New York Jets, and it's disappointing. It really drives me nuts as a Jets fan who does dedicate so much of his time to this team when they come out and they play like that. It's embarrassing. These are professional football players, and you knew right away it was over. So let's talk about the game in general. So right away, Jets go 3 and out to start. Offense was not clicking from the jump. I mean, 2 rushing plays by Breece Hall really went nowhere. And then first pass of the game for Justin Fields just airmails a ball over Garrett Wilson's head, who was wide open. I mean, that's a big play if he hits it. So, props to Angstrom. Good play call. Good design. But Justin Fields couldn't hit it. And right from that moment, you knew what kind of Justin Fields you were going to get today. And it was a Justin Fields that was the old Justin Fields. So let's talk about the offense first, since we're on the topic. So Justin Fields he goes from having one of the best quarterback games he's ever had in his career to now the worst quarterback game he's ever had in his career. And that is the roller coaster of Justin Fields. We knew when we signed him that we were getting a guy who was on 3 different teams. One team that benched him when he was, 4-2 as a starter for Russell Wilson because he couldn't do it. And that was the Justin Fields we got today. So he airmails that one to Garrett Wilson. That was a horrible pass. The next drive, he comes out, fumbles when he tries to run up the middle. Can't have turnovers. We said it. Those are the keys to victory. Cannot have turnovers, and we turn the ball over. So that's a disaster. He misses a wide open Isaiah Davis. I think it was right before halftime, where he probably could have gained at least 20 yards and potentially scored a touchdown. But he throws it behind him, can't hit him. Then literally the next play, it was short of the sticks, but Mason Taylor's wide open, and he throws it behind him again. Another play, Garrett Wilson, crossing route right over the middle. I don't know if he was trying to lead him away from the defender, but throws it behind him. Garrett drops it. So Fields had an awful, awful game. I think he had 50 yards rushing, and I think 30 of them came on one play. So, okay, that's fine. But he ended up 3 for 11 for 27 yards. It's 2025. When's the last time you saw a quarterback go 3 for 11 for 27 yards who's your starting quarterback that played 3 quarters? And look, Justin Fields got hurt, got a concussion. I feel bad for him. I mean, that's brutal. Now Tyrod Taylor's coming in, all that kind of stuff. But he was so bad. And we have seen a lot of bad quarterbacks come through, the New York Jets, but 3 for 11 is really, really rough. And man, you just felt like there were some moments where maybe we can get the offense going a little. We're not going to come back. We're not a team that can come back from being down a bunch of points. But like maybe we'll show some fight, and it just wasn't there. It wasn't there for him today, and that is the sad part of the Justin Fields experience. So if you look at his actual QBR for the game, it was 1.1. 1.1. QBR is out of 100. Tyrod Taylor, who was 7 for 11 for 56 yards, his QBR was a 93.4. That's how bad Justin Fields was, a 1.1. Oh, man, so that was absolutely brutal. But once again, that's what we knew we were signing up for. Last week, we were very excited about the way he played, and that's why I'm so pissed that we lost that game, even though we played really well, because you knew that we're going to get into the situation where we weren't going to play like that every week, and you needed to steal that one because now we're 0-2. So, man, Justin Fields is not good. The rest of the offense, I mean, the offensive line they were okay. They didn't hold up much. Brees couldn't really get anything going running the ball. Tanner Engstrand, you got to get Brees into more parts of the passing game. Because I think he only had 2 catches on the day. Can't have that. I mean, he's a better player than that. You got to get him involved. Braylon Allen did absolutely nothing. Arian Smith, they tried to get him involved. He made a really nice almost catch towards the sideline. It would have been called back because he was offside, so he committed a penalty anyway. But end around, he lost 10 yards on the end around when we were finally driving, when the game was still like in the first quarter. So yeah, they tried to get him involved, but they couldn't. I would say the one good thing that came out of the offense, and I'm very happy for this guy because we've given him a lot of crap over the last couple weeks and probably past 2 years. Jeremy Ruckert scored his first touchdown as a New York Jet, and you got to be happy for his dad. His dad grows up a die-hard New York Jets fan, and he just watched his son catch their first touchdown ever for his hometown team. That's a cool moment for his dad, even though it was garbage time. Everybody was gone. Game was over. But, you got to be happy for him. But otherwise, the rest of the team, man, that was a brutal, brutal offensive showing. I mean, Isaiah Davis could have had some moments, but Fields couldn't hit him. Tyler Johnson played like every single play on offense, and he had 0 catches. Allen Lazard, I saw him miss like 2 or 3 blocks and didn't have any catches, so I don't even know why he's on the team. It was a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. Fields fumbled twice. Garrett fumbled once. Luckily, we only lost one of those fumbles. But, man, really tough day for the offense. Really tough day for Tanner Engstrand. And we can't play from behind. So that first drive, you got to move right down the field. And this is what happened in the flow of the game. The flow of the game goes, we go 3 and out right away, give the ball back, we send it to Josh Allen. Josh Allen marches down the field. We'll talk about what happened that caused him to continue to march down the field. That was so freaking frustrating. Can't even take it. And then, of course, they go score a touchdown, 7-0. We get the ball back. 1 play later, Fields fumbles. They go right down the field and score. The game is over before we get out of the first quarter because we know the offense cannot come back down 10-0 that early in the game with absolutely 0 momentum. So the game script was just so thrown off instantly because we couldn't get the ball moving, and we turned the ball over. Once again, cannot turn the ball over. Man, I was really nervous about Fields fumbling because all last year he was fumbling like crazy, but he kept recovering his own fumbles, or his own team would recover his own fumbles. So he was bound to lose some, and boom, we got it right away in this game. All right, let's go to the defense. Is anyone worried about Steve Wilks right now, our defensive coordinator? Like, we've given up 64 points in 2 games to 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers and to a Bills team where Josh Allen didn't have to do a lot. Mitch Trubisky had good plays. Josh Allen could have just sat out after he broke his nose and never come back in, and they still would have won 30-10. Oh, man, it was crazy. Josh Allen was only 14-25 for 148 yards, so he did not have to do anything really at all. He had that one big run on the first drive. I think it was like a 40-yard run or something like that, which linebackers were a mess. No one could catch him. I don't know where Sherwood was the entire game. I feel like we paid him and he's just gone. I haven't seen him at all. I don't know if he's just running around in circles, chicken with his head cut off, but he's been really bad. So the big play that I'm like really, really so frustrated about, First drive of the game. Jets defense looking shaky, but we get them into a 3rd and 19. The reason for that is Josh Allen had an intentional grounding that pushes them back, which, thank God, amazing that the referees actually called him for that. I feel like they never do. Now, what is Josh Allen great at? Josh Allen is the ultimate flopper. He is so big and can take a hit that he will purposely take the hit, kick back his head, or make the crazy gesture to make it look like he's got hit illegally and fall and all that kind of stuff. So anytime you hit him, he's going to make it look like it's a roughing the passer. Now, I'm not saying this wasn't roughing the passer. It clearly was. This was so dumb. But I said in our I think it was the pregame pod, I bet you Michael Clemens can't control himself and gets a personal foul penalty in under 7.5 minutes to the start of the game. The first drive on 3rd and 19, what does Michael Clemens do? Commits a roughing the passer penalty. And we stopped them too. We stopped them on 3rd and 19. It was great. They would have to kick a long field goal with a new kicker, Matt Prater. But no, keep the drive alive. A couple plays later, they score a touchdown. So that's a 4-point swing right there. You go from 3 points to 7. Just like that, all because of Michael Clemens. And what happens? Aaron Glenn's yelling him at the sideline, and guess what? He comes right back in the game. So you want to talk about accountability. Just because you yelled at him, I don't think that counts as accountability because he was right back on the field doing absolutely nothing the rest of the game. And the problem with this, number one, we don't have any other depth. No other depth across the defensive end group. So he has to play, which is so annoying. The other thing here, how do we know better than the entire organization about who's good on this team and who's not? It is absolutely insane that this entire offseason we've been saying Xavier Gibson should not be on the team and Michael Clemens should not be on the team. And what happens in the first 2 games of the year? They straight up lose us the games. They put us out of reach right there. Xavier Gibson, critical fumbles, cut the next week. Michael Clemens, roughing the passer, right where we knew he would always do a roughing the passer just like this because he can't control himself against the Bills. And we go down 7 and we can't come back. It's insane how obvious this was. And no one did anything about it. And of course, it cost us. Now we're 0-2, and we got to go play the Buccaneers, who are a playoff team down in Tampa. Ah, man, you feel really good if we go 2-2. But right now, we're in a horrible hole because of these 2 decisions that could have been prevented. So that started it all. Freaking Michael Clemens. I can't take it anymore. And he's going to be on the team the whole year. There's no one else we can replace him with. Man. See, I thought I calmed down, but I'm not calm. When you're in the game too, when you're there as a fan and you're watching this happen, it's just like nothing's going on. You're not even paying attention at that point. The game was over before I cracked my first beer, and you're just sitting there like, oh, maybe I'll get a tan today. That'd be cool. Talking to the kid behind me because I had nothing else to do. Better than watching the team because the game was over. It's just embarrassing, and they're not trying. So it's frustrating. All right, rest of the defense. Sauce Gardner did not have a good game. So Josh Allen at one point, Michael Clemens hits him in the face. He breaks his nose, starts bleeding everywhere. He has to come out. Mitchell Trubisky comes in, throws a 30-yard completion over Sauce Gardner, which Sauce Gardner also committed a penalty on the play, and they get a first down. 30 yards, Mitchell Trubisky, first play. 2 are all-pro corner. Super frustrating. Brandon Stephens, not good. Did not have a redemption game. And this was the most embarrassing part, I think, of the whole Brandon Stephens experience. First of all, why the heck did we give him this much money? It's insane when you look at it. Muji is just missing left and right on people right now. But we watched the long run by James Cook, which is right behind me here on this image. We watched the long run by him. At the 20-yard line, Stephens is right behind him. His job is to go catch him and stop him from scoring a touchdown. What does Stephens do? He lets up. He stops running. And he just lets him run for an extra 20 yards and score a touchdown. He had no effort. Not even a smidge of effort to try to stop him. I could not believe what I was watching when, you look back on the replays and things like that after the game, and it's like, this guy did not even care. We just paid him money and he's just chilling. Must be nice. So he's Brandon Smith. Brandon Stephens. I don't care. Put somebody else in that's going to try. And if they don't do well, if Quantez Stiggers or Azareye'h Thomas doesn't play well because their talent is worse, I would rather deal with that than have someone out there who just doesn't try and doesn't get better. That's embarrassing. Can't have that. I thought Cisco had a bad game. He had a play where I think it was the Elijah Moore end around for a touchdown, where he just like rips his helmet off and smashes it against the ground, pretends he's hurt, and then gets up and comes right back in. How old are you? Don't you pretend you're hurt. Make the tackle next time. Like, what are you doing? Oh man, that was frustrating. The D line, tough to judge the D line. I mean, Jermaine Johnson getting hurt is really tough. He had some good plays. I thought he was putting good pressure on Josh Allen. I think he had a tip ball at one point, which of course Sauce Gardner tips up in the air. He doesn't catch it because he never catches interceptions, so that was terrible. The rest of the D line, like Quinn played okay. I thought he showed up. I thought Will McDonald, it's really tough. He's a guy who can't play against the run. So when the game is 20-3, he can't really rush the passer as he normally would because they're not going to pass as much. So he's not going to be as impactful to the game as someone like a Jermaine Johnson would be. So I give Will McDonald some slack, but he better show up next week against Baker, and hopefully the whole team does. So that was really tough. I'm trying to think. Quincy Williams, he has not shown me anything so far this year. I think he had that one stop on the screen pass where he made a nice tackle, but that was really it. Michael Carter didn't have a good game, but he at least tackles. Actually, Tony Adams had a pretty good bounce back game, and then he got hurt. So we got to see Malachi Moore play safety a little bit, and he's another guy. He's going to try really hard. He comes from Alabama. He's not going to take time off. So I thought it was interesting to see him. Otherwise, someone who played really well on the defense was Juwan Briggs. That's probably the best addition we've made so far. He looked good against the run, and I think he even had he had a sack and a few pass rush snaps too. So I thought he looked pretty decent. Leonard Taylor, didn't hear his name called at all, so I don't know what was going on there. Anyone else on the defense that I didn't mention? No, I think the big question is, this is a defense with a lot of talent, but it's very top heavy. So you got Sauce, you got Quinnen, you got Jermaine Johnson, you got Will McDonald, you've got Quincy Williams, Jamie Sherwood, and then it's the depth just shrinks. Like if you look behind me in this picture for this James Cook touchdown, that's Braden McGregor running down the field. Not good when you have Braden McGregor bringing on like big time snaps in a game like this. Not good when you have Marcelino McCrary-Ball and Francisco Malagoa playing real snaps in these games because they can't tackle. They can't. They're just not good enough. They're not fast enough. They're not big enough. They're just not. They're supposed to be effort guys, but they don't have any skill really. So it's tough to watch, and we can't be giving up 64 points in 2 games. We're supposed to be this good defense. So Aaron Glenn's gonna have to get more involved because the only way we're gonna be able to stay in games and win them is if the defense makes some stops, and we haven't done so far. I will say 2 things that were positive. Austin McNamara can punt. We got a punter, that's for sure. So if we just stop turning the ball over and we actually have to punt for normal, he's pretty good. I liked watching him. Nick Folk made a long field goal. I thought that was good. Let's talk about the other part of special teams. I thought Isaiah Davis looked okay in the kick return game. I thought he had, like, that first kick return was to the 35, 36-yard line, which was good. Isaiah Williams, the guy we just picked up to replace Xavier Gibson, holy cow, he looked horrible. That wasn't good. He looked slow. He was running in weird directions. At one point, he ran into his own man. I was like, oh, man. I'm not saying cutting Xavier Gibson was the right thing, but, man, this is what we got. That's tough. It's tough, Muji. It's tough. All right, I think that's the entire team that I want to talk about. Let's talk about the coaching. Aaron Glenn, you cannot have the team looking like this in the second game as a head coach. It's embarrassing. And I think the part that's really embarrassing about it is we were promised this bill of goods that we wouldn't have games like this anymore, and we did. And that's what's really disappointing. And then for him to preach accountability and then stand up there at the post-game presser and not take accountability himself, all he did was say, I got to look at the tape. I got to look at the tape. I got to look at the tape. You don't need to look at the tape to see how poorly we played. You can take ownership and say, we didn't coach well enough and we didn't play well enough. Justin Fields did not play quarterback good enough today, and we're going to go look at the tape and figure out why. Our running game wasn't good enough today. We're going to figure out why. Our defense didn't play up to the standard that I want the defense to play at, and we're going to go look at why. That's fine, because then you're at least taking ownership of what happened. But by just yelling at the media saying, I'm going to go watch the tape, you're not standing. You can't have a game like that and not stand up there and take accountability yourself. So look, it's early for Aaron Glenn. I think he's going to learn from this, but that's not the way to handle yourself after a game like that when you're the head coach of this football team. It also doesn't look great for the players either, because what are they going to say when they get asked questions in the locker room? We're going to go look at the tape, like they're going to get pressed. So yeah, there was a lot of bad, a lot of bad. Now looking ahead, this team's 0-2. We're going to play a playoff team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Actually, let me look. The game's on right now. Let me see where they're at. I saw it was 14-10 Tampa. They're playing the Texans right now. Looks like it's still 14-10. So Tampa could be 2-0. Us going down there. They've got a lot of injuries that they're dealing with. So hopefully for us, we'll see what our injuries look like. I know Jermaine Johnson was hurt. It might be Tyrod Taylor who's starting for us at quarterback, which I don't think is that big of a downgrade. It's just the passing game is going to look a lot crazier. He wants to throw it all around, and he's not going to run as well. So we're going to lose that, but we're going to gain a little more in the passing game. But I think he might be a better passer than Fields in terms of he's been around the block, he can read the defense, all that kind of stuff. But he's definitely not the runner he is, and he might get hurt. So Brady Cook better get ready because he's going to be pulled up if Justin Fields can't go. We need Jermaine back. I think that's going to be a big one. And yeah, we got to play our old buddy Todd Bowles. We don't really beat our former coaches very often, so that's going to be tough. Hassan Reddick's playing defensive end, so we'll go see what happens there. But, we're 0-2. I think it's going to be really, really important to see how the team bounces back. You can have one bad game like this. The reason I hate this game so much is because, yes, the Bills are way better than us. They have a more talented roster, better coaching, all that kind of stuff. But this was a lack of effort by the team. I'm okay if we lose a game where we tried, we played hard, we looked decent, and we just lost because we're not as good. Here, it was just a lack of effort. Game was over in 5 seconds. So it was brutal. We can't have that. We got to come out and compete. We got to compete. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. If we're 0-3, but we competed our butts off in 2 games and said, oh, we could have beat the Steelers and we were close against the Bucs. All right, I'm not going to feel as bad about this team or the future of this team. But right now, I feel like, oh my God, it's the same old Jets all over again. And then we go to Miami right after that. So if we can come out of that 2-2, play the Cowboys at home, okay, I'm feeling a lot better. 1-3, I don't feel great. The season's pretty much over at that point, but at least we played some real games, got a win out of it. If we come back 0-4, and then we got to play the Cowboys at home. Oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle that. So we got to get one. Just got to get one. And I really want Aaron Glenn to get his first win and get the vibes up, because right now, I'm just thinking about, is this team just not know how to win? Does this team just is so used to losing we get deflated 5 minutes into games and just give up? Is that what happens? Because we've seen it with Gase, we've seen it with Bowles, we've seen it with Saleh. Now we saw it in one game with Aaron Glenn. So I don't know. I hope we get a bounce back, but. Yeah, my predictions were way off, I'll tell you that. I thought we were going to fight in this one. But all right, I think that's enough. I think you get my gist that I'm really disappointed in this team. I'm really disappointed in the game we just played, especially against a division rival at home, coming off a game where we thought we looked good. But, hey, maybe it's a detriment to the Steelers. Maybe they're not as good as everyone thought. But all right, what I'm going to do is, I'll have content going out the rest of this week. Obviously, I'm going to travel down to Tampa. I leave on Friday, so I'll see everybody who's going to be in Tampa down there. I think I'll be at the Gotham City tailgate on Sunday morning. So if you're going, head on over to that. I'll see you there. And this starts the road swing. So 2 games in a row in Florida. I'm going to stay down there the whole time. So it should be fun. But I'll do content the rest of this week. We'll do a pregame later this week, and then we'll do a postgame, obviously following the game on Sunday. So I'll get back to you later this week, but thank you all for listening. Really appreciate it. I'm getting roasted on TikTok and all those places, so if any Jets fans could back me up for how this is just historically what happens to us, that'd be great. And if you want to follow me, subscribe, rate, review, all across TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, at JuicyJet25, YouTube, JuicyJet25. And yeah, I'll talk to you all later this week, and we're putting this one behind us with positive energy into the weekend. See y'all later.